it okay? So the perimeter is the milestone tank, and then inside, that's better, is this triangle tube tank and tank. And the water is introduced with a dip tube. Tim mentioned about, it used to be that water was typically fed in from the bottom. And this tank is fed in from the top, the dip tube. It's heated up by the working fluid, which is pumped from the outer tank up to the solar collectors and then back. And so the heat exchange surface is the outside surface of the inner tank. And when the system starts, it pumps down the fluid. The fluid might be at this level, and as it pumps up to the collectors, it accumulates up here, and so the depth in the outer tank drops down to maybe here. And we can tell, can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Yeah, we'll have to capture your voice.
Okay.
Thank you.
The fluid level drops in the outer tank as it's pumped up into the collectors. There's a sight glass here, which is a way of determining that the fluid is in the outer tank. When the system is shut down and the fluid runs back from the collectors, back through the pump, and into the outer tank. And as the water runs back, of course, it goes back up, and there's a sight glass shown over here, which indicates, so you can find out that the fluid has returned. So the cold water comes in here, a backflow preventer if required. There's been a lot of concern or misinterpretation of the plumbing code. Some plumbing inspectors are saying that a backflow preventer is required, but the code, or the solar code, is that if there's a connection between the cold water and the working fluid. There's no connection, no plumbing connection in the system between the cold water and the working fluid. There's a heat exchange surface between the two. But on some systems, there may be a connection from this line over to this line to, if in case there's a loss of working fluid, and you introduce water from the mains. So the cold water is coming in here, into the tank, the dip tube. It's heated up when the system turns on, and the hot fluid is coming back and sprays over the inner tank. And it has a rapid heat recovery. The hot water is drawn off the top of the tank whenever there's a valve open over here. In a washroom, say, a valve is open. The hot water comes out of the conventional hot water tank, and it's fed by the solar tank. In the summertime, we have a summer bypass. We go from here, over here, and the conventional tank can be turned off. This is the differential controller, and on that system, there's the controller up top. Okay? And the pump is down here. That's the pump here. Generally, we need a high head pump so that we can push the fluid up 2 stories. And our basic package consists of 2 panels. That's suitable for 3 or 4 people, 5 people. If it's only 2 people or 1 person, maybe just a single collector. Now we've installed a large number. We've installed a large number of closed-loop systems. I need some coaching, Janet. We have installed a large number of closed-loop systems, and when we do commercial systems, we still generally install closed-loop systems. But they are more complicated than this drain back. We think this is the ultimate in simplicity. Okay, there was a slide of save on energy. Okay, this is a program. Move it up a little. See, yeah, this is a program I learned about last Saturday. It's through the Ontario Power Authority. There's an incentive of $320 per square meter of collector. And for our collector like that one, it's $320 times 2.88 square meters times a performance factor, which was determined by the Natural Resources Canada. So it works out to $866 per collector. So for a two-panel system, it's about $1,700, a little more than $1,700. And this is, you know, it's new. Nobody seems to know about it yet. I have a friend in Guelph who tipped me off about it, and it's, even on the OPA site, it's hard to find. But it's, you look on Ontario Power Authority and then residential, save on energy, and the on is in different colors. That's suppose like Ontario, save Ontario energy. But they also have an incentive for the thing that Jamie mentioned about the on the sewer lines. What's the the drain water line?
Yeah, heat recovery.
Heat recovery. Yeah. Okay. There's some kind of an incentive for that. There doesn't seem to be an incentive for commercial applications, and this is only if for electricity being displaced. So it only is eligible. Only people that would be eligible are people that have electric water heaters. But I think there's 10,000 people out of 10,000 homes in London that have electric water heaters. So this could be a big program. We would like to have the support of the city and London Hydro. We'll see. Okay, I need to look at the list of pictures. Okay, under... Does everybody have any questions? Because I've got a choice of slides. I won't be able to show them all to you, but if anybody has a question, I can pick one out that will explain something. Anybody? Yes?
How long are people finding for their return on their investment? How
many years?
Yeah, approximately.
Well, without a subsidy, it's a long, long time. Because Tim mentioned the system costing about $8,000. And you can save 50 or 60% of your hot water bill, which is in the order of $500 a year. And so maybe you can save $300 a year, so $300 into $8,000 is a big number. 25 years. Now, if you're going to live in the house, and you have to take into account that the price of energy is going to go up in that 25 years. But some kind of an incentive like this is a big help. What would really help is if the building code was changed to require solar water heaters, or at least the plumbing to be installed for solar water heaters. And then there would be less opposition or less concern about installing the solar system. Is that sufficient explanation?
So I saw in Hawaii, all the houses have solar thermal.
Me too. Everybody should have one. Well, there's been so much excitement about the PV program that it's been to our detriment. In fact, so many people getting into the solar PV business and putting PV systems on roofs that aren't careful of what they do. Now, everybody has to have a building permit. Up until a year ago, we didn't have to have a building permit to put a solar system on the roof. But now we have to have a building permit, and in order to get the building permit, we have to have an engineering certificate that the roof is adequate for the load. And The roofs are still the same roofs that we were putting solar systems on up until a year ago, but now it's more paperwork and more expensive. Yep.
Can these be insured?
Do what?
Insured in any way?
Insure it?
Yeah, to ensure that. Invest in the back eventually.
Well, the householder's insurance should cover problems. I guess the big problem, it's not a big problem, but the problem that I can see that you may want to go after your insurance company for is if the glass got broken. And we seldom have glass break. Even in hailstorms. Yep.
What about replacing shingles? What kind of problems?
Well, if we put a system on the roof, and it needs re-roofing a few years later, we go back and lift the system off the roof. Sometimes we lift the two collectors off and set it on another part of the roof, and the roofer roofs that part, then we set it back. The worst case is where we have to remove the panels, take them down to the ground while the roofer does his work. But generally, the roofers are cooperative, and we can put it on a part of the roof where where they haven't worked yet, then move it back onto the place where they were set. And if we can do that, we don't have to change the piping. We can juggle the system so we get back to making the same piping connections. The collectors are over 1,000, but less expensive than the tank. The tank, this tank is the stainless steel tank inside the mild steel tank is made in Belgium. Taken to New Jersey and the jackets put on and then sold through a company in Toronto.
How about bringing everyone over so
Okay.
you can go through? Could you invite everyone over to that court?
Sure.
You go, if people go over, it'll bring them into more contact.